Hello and welcome to Write or Rant, author advice in 5 minutes or less because I have to get back to writing and so do you. So today's Halloween, and as many of you know, NaNoWriMo, National Novel Writing Month, is just around the corner. It is only hours away at this point, and so I'm sure there's plenty of you are putting the finishing touches on your outline, or you're just sitting there ready to pants your way through November. You're wondering, it's like, oh man, how am I going to find the time to write my novel? And I think NaNoWriMo is great because it essentially forces you to sit down and gives you concrete goals and a concrete timeline to say, hey, I'm going to get this story out, I'm going to get this first draft onto paper, and then at that point you can do whatever you want with it. You can tuck it away in a drawer, you can let it sit for a little bit and edit it, those kind of things. But what it comes down to is, if you don't get those words on the page, you're not going to have anything to do with it. And so I've had this question asked a couple times is, okay, well, my life's busy, right? I've got school, I've got work, I've got a family, I've got children, I've got a spouse, I've got all these other things, all these other commitments. How am I going to find time for writing? And really what it comes down to, and this is what works for me, and I think it should work for you if you commit to it, is schedule your writing. So what do I mean by that? So if you don't make time in your day for writing, there's never going to be time. Like, essentially, time is a liquid, right? It fills however much space that we give it. So if we don't have that one piece of time that is dedicated to writing, it's just going to flow into whatever else we have going on. It's going to be chores, it's going to be emergencies. I mean, granted, you do have to know your priorities, right? But if writing is one of your priorities, then you need to find that spot in your day that you can consistently say, hey, this is my writing time, I need to sit down, I need to write. Even if it's just a couple minutes a day. Now granted, NaNoWriMo requires a little bit more than a couple minutes each of the 30 days, but outside of NaNoWriMo, if you really want to continue the writing habit, if you find those little minutes and you're like, you know what, when I wake up in the morning, I'm going to write for 5 minutes or whatever, then if you do that every day, suddenly you add up, and it's just like, oh wow, over an entire year you might have a novel if you do it that way. And so what it comes down to is you really got to prioritize your time to say, hey, look, I want to write, I want to do these things, and you schedule it out. You say from this time to this time, and you guard that with your life. Because if for whatever reason it's just like, oh hey, my friend invited me out to coffee during my morning writing session, and I'm just like, oh man, I haven't seen that friend forever. Well, suddenly you're giving up your writing time, and when are you going to find that time again? Because if you haven't scheduled some other time in the day, you're not going to find time already, because you've already found that great spot in your day to do your writing. So you really got to guard that with your life, because otherwise it'll escape if you let it. And yeah, I mean, your friend might be there, and you might have not seen them in years, decades, or whatever. But at that point, you say, hey, look, I've got this thing I've got to do at this time, reschedule with your friend. I'm sure there's flexibility somewhere else when it comes to, getting coffee or whatever. I get it, there's going to be some things you can't reschedule in your life, but if you know ahead of time when your writing time is, when you're scheduled to write, then you can work around that, right? And so in working around it, you make sure that writing is the priority in your day, and who knows, at the end of a month you could have a first draft of a novel. I know for me, I certainly am going to have plenty of time to write in the next couple of weeks as NaNoWriMo is upon us. I look forward to writing the first book in my next series. It's kind of a sci-fi fantasy about a dream world and a real world and how they're connected. But yeah, this is now the last episode for this season 2 of Write or Rant. So thanks for watching, everyone, and I'll be back with season 3 in January. So come back and watch again. I'm sure I'll have plenty of new things to rant about, things in writing and reading and reviewing. And if you have anything that really annoys you, by all means, let me know in the comments below, and I'll try to get to it in a future episode of Write or Rant. But thank you for watching this episode and this season of Write or Rant. I'm Benjamin M. Weilert.